A horrific shooting just took place in Washington, D.C., about 2 blocks from the White House. 2 National Guardsmen were shot. These National Guardsmen came from West Virginia. Currently, they're in critical condition. There were conflicting reports about their condition. I want to mention this, though. Donald Trump did make a post right away about this, where he said that he would be ordering 500 more National Guard troops to be in Washington, D.C. But then shortly thereafter that, he started posting about his poll numbers. Seriously, posting about your poll numbers when this is what's taking place and when we don't know the condition of these National Guards, men or women? Here's what he posted. President Donald Trump remains with strong approval at 50%. I mean, we know that that is false. Number one, he has his lowest approval ever. But that's what you're posting about now. You have to post that now. You can't just act like a mature adult and show the appropriate sympathy. It just utterly disgusts me. So here was the news. 2 National Guard members were shot in Washington, D.C. This was right outside the Farragut West Metro Station when I went to undergrad at the George Washington University, and I went to law school at Georgetown Law. I lived in D.C. for about 7.5 years. That was the main train station that I took because I lived right around that area, so I know that area very well. We know that the scene was secured within about an hour or so, and one of the things that Mayor Bowser of Washington, D.C. said was that this was a targeted shooting by the suspect, who also now is in critical condition. Suspect is of these 2 National Guardsmen. It's absolutely horrific. Now, the governor of West Virginia, Patrick Morrisey, originally posted that the National Guard's members were killed. He then walked that statement back and said, we're now receiving conflicting reports about the condition of our 2 Guard members, and will provide additional updates once we receive more complete information. Our prayers are with these brave service members, their families, and the entire Guard community. That's what we're thinking about right now here, of course, on the MeidasTouch network. A heinous act, and our heart goes out to all the members of the National Guard. But immediately after this, Donald Trump is now ratcheting up the National Guard presence in Washington, D.C., and I just don't think that there should be this National Guard presence there at all. I don't think it's having the intended effect that I think he thinks it is. I think it makes D.C. look like this authoritarian place. We saw the National Guards people picking up trash mostly, and they're mostly put in the tourist areas where there hasn't been a lot of crime in general, versus if you were going to put them in areas where there's more crime. I mean, you're putting them in the tourist areas just kind of to show that they're there. Here's Pete Hegseth, Secretary of Defense, talking about the 500 additional troops. Here, play this clip.
President Trump has asked me, and I will ask the Secretary of the Army, to the National Guard to add 500 additional troops, National Guardsmen, to Washington, D.C. This will only stiffen our resolve to ensure that we make Washington, D.C. safe and beautiful. The drop in crime has been historic. The increase in safety and security has been historic. But if criminals want to conduct things like this, violence against America's best, we will never back down.
And then we heard from FBI Director Kash Patel, and Kash Patel made a very strange statement. He says that he intends to shortchange the American people with no resources. I guess he misspoke, but it's a bad time to misspeak. We will shortchange the American people with no resources, he says. Here, play this clip.
Exceptional. We will work together collaboratively because this is a matter of national security, because this is a matter of pride. President Trump has been informed. We've been in contact with the White House. We will shortchange the American public with no resources to make sure we find and safeguard our nation's capital right here in Washington, D.C., and bring anyone responsible for this heinous act of violence to justice. I would lastly like to add to the American public and the world, please send your prayers to those brave warriors who are in critical condition and their families. They are here serving our country. They are here protecting everyday Americans and citizens around the world in our nation's capital. They are the heroes of this day and we must remember them on this day and every day, and their families and the sacrifice they have made. I will now turn it over to Chief Carroll of the Metropolitan Police Department. Thank you.
Now, one of the things that we're seeing happen as well is that, MAGA always exploits tragedy right away. Soon as something happens, they find a way. Let's blame Democrats, and it's every single time, every shooting, everything, when we should just now be focused on making sure that we do anything we can, for these victims, and think about them and reflect on what a horrible situation this is, and wait to learn more information. MAGA right away exploits it. So what all these MAGA Republican Congress members are doing is saying this shooting is the Democrats' fault. And they're saying it's Senator Mark Kelly and all the Democrats who said that the military should not follow unlawful orders, which is, again, it's just a restatement of the law. But the way these MAGAs are saying it right now is they go, and because of these statements by the Democrats, it put the guardsmen on the street saying that in jeopardy by saying what they're doing is an unlawful order. Again, that's not what the Democratic members in the House and the Senate said. But again, this is how they exploit every situation, every tragedy. Play this clip.
You've lost friends in combat. I've lost friends in combat. And so we know what this is like. So let's all pray for the families here. But then let's ask ourselves, how did we get here? How are we in this spot? So there's a sitting member of Congress who over the weekend on some talk shows was saying that President Donald Trump putting National Guardsmen on the streets was an unlawful order. We have people on CNN, a competing network, saying that putting National Guards people on the street is equivalent to Nazi Germany. So this inflammatory rhetoric by the left has to stop. Now, did this drive this shooter? We don't know the answer to that question. But did it prevent him from doing it? Hell no. So my Democrat colleagues need to understand that their words have real consequences.
And again, Kash Patel's girlfriend, who's got that SWAT security detail, who flies on the private jet paid for by the taxpayers. She's chiming in while everyone on X is fighting. The left is still attacking people who wear the uniform and support this country for simply doing so. There are far more important things in the world and far bigger enemies who actually hate us, in fact, want to kill us, pray. And she's responding to Democrats told the country that President Trump is giving illegal orders to the military and that it's incumbent upon the military to rebel or they're betraying the country and the Constitution. That's not what any Democrat said, and this is not something that's related to this at all, but this is what MAGA is going to do. As our editor-in-chief Ron Filipkowski writes, Kash Patel's girlfriend suggests that Senator Mark Kelly's video is responsible for the shooting of the National Guard troops in Washington, D.C.
It's called the holiday credit dip, and it hits millions of people every year, and most don't see it coming. The holidays roll in, you swipe your credit card a few extra times, your balance goes up, and your credit score drops. That's where Smart Credit comes in. Smart Credit helps you stop the dip before it happens. Their patent technology pinpoints exactly which bills to pay and when to maximize your credit score. In fact, the average Smart Credit user can see an increase of 34 points in just 30 days. Maximize your score now, and you could save big in the new year. So while you're out spreading holiday cheer, set yourself up for your smartest financial year yet with Smart Credit. Don't wait. Before you take that next swipe, head to smartcredit.com/Meidas and start your 7-day trial for just $1. That's smartcredit.com/Meidas. smartcredit.com. Disclaimer, individual results may vary and are not guaranteed.
In addition to Donald Trump posting about his approval numbers and lying about it while we're still learning more information about the shooting, he then also posted about the elections in Honduras. And he says, will Maduro and his narco-terrorists take over another country like they have taken over Cuba, Nicaragua, and Venezuela? The man who is standing up for democracy and fighting against Maduro is Tito Asfura, the presidential candidate of the National Party. Then it's obviously something that was written for Donald Trump. He doesn't know who the candidates are in the Honduran election. But why are you posting this now? Like right now, this is what you have to do, is inject your war language and your divisive language and your fake polls like right now. And at the same time, J.D. Vance learned about the shooting. He was giving a speech at Fort Campbell, Kentucky, where he said that people on Thanksgiving don't like turkey. Here, I'll play you this clip right here.
That is a uniquely American thing. That's why, for example, we have, turkey. Think about turkey. Who really likes, be honest with yourselves, who really likes turkey? You're all full of shit. Everybody who raised your hands. I know. Think about it. And here's how I know that every single one of you who raised your hand is lying to me. How many times do you roast an 18-pound turkey just randomly? Just, a nice summer afternoon, we're going to go get an 18-pound turkey. Nobody does it because turkey doesn't actually taste that good. But on Thanksgiving, on the most American holiday, I got a fan over here. On the most American holiday, we're going to cook a turkey, by God, because that's what Americans do. We cook this gigantic American bird, and we do all kinds of crazy things to make it taste good. I talked to a soldier today.
And then he said that Pete Hegseth doesn't like people in beards. He doesn't like beardos. Here, play this clip.
And then Pete goes, "No more beardos." I'm like, what the hell is that all about? He's talking about me. And I said to Pete afterwards, I was like, man, you had me. This whole speech was amazing. But you know what? The point is here that we believe in you so much. We believe in your mission so much that we know that you guys can meet the highest standards in the world.
Now, here's the moment we learned on CNN that Trump was requesting 500 additional National Guard troops to be sent to Washington, D.C. Here, play this clip.
And Charles, we're just learning that President Trump is now requesting 500 additional National Guard troops to be sent to D.C. That's according to Secretary Pete Hegseth.
That's what we know for now. We'll keep you posted every step of the way. Of course, this is an evolving story, so I wanted to wait before publishing it to gather as many details as I could. And of course, things can be changing very rapidly here. So let me know what you think. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 6 million. Thanks for watching.
Love this video? Support independent media and unlock exclusive content, ad-free videos, and custom emojis by becoming a paid member of our YouTube channel today. You can also gift memberships to others. Let's keep growing together.